In the first part, we followed Yusuf from his father's love, through his brother's betrayal, into a well, and onward to the household of a nobleman in Egypt. Allah had granted him beauty, wisdom, and knowledge. But the next trial would not come through suffering. It would come through temptation, in the comfort of that very house. And often, the hardest test of faith is not hardship, but ease. The mistress of the house, in whose care he lived, desired him, and one day she closed the doors and called him to herself. But Yusuf answered with the words of a God-conscious heart, "I seek refuge in Allah. Indeed, your husband is my master, who has treated me honorably. The wrongdoers never succeed." In a private moment, with no human watching, his first thought was not of desire, nor of consequence, but of his Lord. The Quran tells us he was drawn as any human would be, but that he saw the clear proof of his Lord and turned away. Thus, says Allah, we averted from him evil and immorality. Indeed, he was of our chosen, sincere servants. This is the lesson at the heart of the scene. Yusuf was not free of desire. He was strengthened against it. Sincerity toward Allah was the shield that kept him. Yusuf fled toward the door to escape, and she rushed after him, tearing his shirt from behind. At the door they met her husband. In an instant she turned accuser, asking, "What is the punishment for one who intended evil against your wife, except prison or a painful torment?" How quickly the wrongdoer sought to bury the truth, and to make the innocent appear guilty. Yusuf said simply, "It was she who sought to seduce me." Then a wise member of her own household offered a test. If his shirt is torn from the front, she is truthful, and he has lied. But if it is torn from the back, then she has lied, and he is truthful. Truth, when patiently left to Allah, has a way of revealing itself through the smallest of signs. The shirt was torn from behind, proof that Yusuf had fled, and she had pursued. Her husband saw the truth. "This is of the scheming of you women. Your scheming is great." Then he said, "Yusuf, turn away from this, and you, ask forgiveness for your sin." Yet even with the truth laid bare, the powerful chose to quiet the matter rather than to do justice. But word slipped out, and the women of the city began to talk. "The wife of the Aziz seeks to seduce her servant," they murmured. "He has filled her with love. We see her in clear error." She heard their mockery, and rather than feel shame, she devised a way to prove that any heart would have faltered as hers did. So she invited the women to a banquet, gave each a knife and some fruit, and called Yusuf to appear before them. When they saw him, they were so overcome that they cut their own hands and exclaimed, "Allah be perfect. This is no mortal. This is but a noble angel." She had made her point, that his beauty could disarm anyone. Yet beauty was never Yusuf's trial. Obedience to Allah was. She threatened him openly. If he would not obey, he would be imprisoned and disgraced. And here Yusuf made his choice. He turned to Allah and prayed, "My Lord, prison is dearer to me than what they call me to. And if you do not turn their plot away from me, I may incline toward them and become ignorant." He preferred the walls of a prison with his faith intact over a palace bought with disobedience. So his Lord answered him and turned their plot away from him. Indeed, he is the all-hearing, the all-knowing. Notice that Allah responded to the one who chose him, yet the response came in the form of prison. Allah's help does not always remove the hardship. Sometimes it carries us through it, with our faith preserved. To Yusuf, that was the truest rescue of all. 2 young men entered the prison with him. Each had seen a dream that troubled him. One dreamed he was pressing wine, the other that he carried bread upon his head from which birds were eating. They came to Yusuf, saying, "Tell us their meaning. We see that you are a man of excellence." Even behind bars, his character was so evident that strangers turned to him for wisdom. But before interpreting their dreams, Yusuf seized the moment to call them to what mattered most. He spoke of the faith of his fathers, Ibrahim, Ishaq, and Yaqub, and asked them gently, "Are many different lords better, or Allah, the one, the prevailing? Judgment belongs only to Allah. He has commanded that you worship none but Him." A true believer does not wait for ease to invite others to good. He does it even in chains. Then he told them, "As for one of you, he will serve wine to his master. As for the other, he will be crucified, and birds will eat from his head. The matter about which you ask has been decreed." He delivered even the hard news with honesty and gentleness, never softening the truth, yet never harsh in giving it. To the one he knew would be freed, Yusuf said, "Mention me to your master." But Shaitan made him forget to mention Yusuf, and so he remained in prison several more years. Even prophets experienced delay. Yusuf had placed a hope in a man's memory and was left waiting. Often Allah lets our means fail us, so that we learn to lean on Him alone, and so His timing, not ours, is fulfilled. Years later, the king of Egypt himself saw a strange dream: 7 fat cows devoured by 7 lean ones, and 7 green ears of grain besides 7 that were dry. Troubled, he gathered his chiefs and advisors and asked them to explain it. But they answered, "These are confused dreams, and we are not learned in the interpretation of dreams." The wisdom of palaces fell silent before the vision. Then at last the cupbearer remembered. The man Yusuf had asked to recall him, now freed and standing in the king's court. "I will tell you its interpretation," he said, "so send me forth." He hurried to the prison and called out, "Yusuf, O man of truth, explain to us the 7 fat cows eaten by 7 lean, and the 7 green ears and 7 dry." After all those years, Yusuf's moment had quietly arrived. Yusuf interpreted it with the clarity of one taught by Allah. "You will plant for 7 years as usual. Then whatever you harvest, leave it in its ears, except a little that you eat. After that will come 7 hard years that will consume what you stored for them, except a little you preserve. Then will come a year of rain, in which people will be relieved, and in which they will press oil and juice." It was not only an interpretation, it was a plan to save a nation. Amazed, the king summoned him. But Yusuf, though he had every reason to rush from prison, first asked that his name be cleared, asked the women who cut their hands what they intended. When questioned, they confessed his innocence, and the wife of the Aziz admitted at last, "Now the truth has become evident. It was I who tried to seduce him, and he is surely among the truthful." He would not accept honor while a stain of false accusation remained. Even vindicated, Yusuf spoke not with pride but with humility. "I do not absolve myself. Indeed, the soul is ever inclined to evil, except those upon whom my Lord has mercy. Truly, my Lord is forgiving and merciful." The one proven innocent reminds us that none of us is safe from our own self, and that it is the mercy of Allah, not our own strength, that keeps us upright. The king honored him and gave him a place of trust. Yusuf asked to be set over the storehouses of the land, saying, "I am a knowing guardian," for he sought authority not for its glory, but to serve the people through the famine to come. And thus, says Allah, we established Yusuf in the land, to settle therein wherever he willed. We touch with our mercy whom we will, and we do not let the reward of the doers of good be lost. From the bottom of a well to the storehouses of Egypt, the promise was unfolding. In the next part, the brothers who began it all return. Subhanallah.